So Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs Central, aka Chicago Baseball Central. I'm your host, Big Bro. And oh my God, man, what a day today for Chicago baseball fans. The Cubs get a shutout victory over the Texas Rangers, 2-0. But the White Sox fall to the Pirates 13-9. We're gonna talk about both games right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for all Chicago baseball. Let's start the show.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox Central, or Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs Central, Chicago Baseball Central in general. I'm your host, Big Bro. Man, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. We'll start with the good. The Chicago Cubs, Marcus Stroman went out there and took care of business, pitched a shutout, got his 200th strikeout of his career. And just was out there dealing with some filthy stuff, hitting people with that sinker, that cutter. It was basically unhittable today. And the Cubs scored 2 runs. That's all they needed today to get the victory over the Rangers. They blanked these guys 2-0 to move to 3-3 on the season at 500. It's really not much to really talk about in terms of the batters and so on and so forth. Simeon was 0 for 4, 207 for the season. Seager was 1 for 2. Lowe was 1 for 4. And then you also had Smith, Jay Smith at 1 for 2. But man, it just wasn't really much going on. But they did enough to get the win. They did enough to get the win. So we're gonna get into a couple of the highlights for the Cubs. First one was this one right here, Cody Bellinger.
Bellinger really started to get hot in Cincinnati. Had 4 hits. Lines that one into right field. That's a base hit. Swanson around third. He's going to score easily. And the Cubs are on the board.
So there you have it. Cody Bellinger went ahead and put the Cubs up 1-0. Clayton Swanson, who's been having a great season. Bellinger's been doing his thing as well. So yeah, that was the first run for the Cubs, and that came in the 4th inning. And then we had 2 innings later when this happened.
Center field, well hit. Garcia back, reaches, and he can't make the catch. Off his glove, and the Cubs have another run. And Happ cruises into second.
And that's Ian Happ with a run double, and that was it. The Cubs bullpen came in and shut it down as well. But I'd be remiss if I did not show how this young man, Marcus Stroman, was out there taking care of business today. So y'all check this out.
Swing and a miss. Stroman gets another strike.
That's filthy.
1-2 pitch. Got it. 1-2 to Grossman. And a swing and a miss. There's 4 punch outs. Looks like the Marcus Stroman who shut down Milwaukee for 6 innings in his first start.
You're going to hear me say this all day long. That movement of that sinker, it does not have to be 95 when it's moving 3 feet within the strike zone. See, that's what movement does. He fell behind and it count 3-1.
And Garcia swings and misses. Stroman with another strikeout.
He got 2 sliders off the plate. Garcia was not happy about that, and it set up this sinker down and away. Too much for him to cover.
1-2.
And then you're going to get that slider. Then you're going to get that slider.
There you have it. Stroman was out there dealing today. His sinker and his slider was just working. And the Rangers didn't have any answers for him. So shout out to the Cubs for getting that nice victory today in some interleague play for both teams today, man. The doggone White Sox. Oh, my goodness. Over the last 2 games, these guys have given up 39 hits. And I can't even tell you how many home runs they gave up. I mean, they gave up probably like 20 home runs to the San Francisco Giants. And now they've given up a few more home runs today to go along with just 39 hits. And that's just in the last 2 games. They gave up 20 hits today. 20 hits. And the crazy thing about the White Sox is, I think in all but 1 game this season, they themselves have had double-digit hits. So, like, normally when you out there and you hitting the ball 10, 11, 12 times a game, that's going to translate to victories. But that's not what's happening early in the season for the White Sox, because every time they decide to go and take care of business, the pitcher comes out and gives it right back. Give it right back. So we're going to get into a couple of the highlights about what the White Sox did today.
Job by Andrew Vaughn, because when he saw the jump Tim Anderson got, and there was no catcher in baseball that could have thrown him out here. Andrew just took it. Now all he needs is a fly ball to plate the first run of the game, and heads up base running by Tim Anderson, who's going to steal a lot this year.
That's his third in 3 tries. Infield back on the left, in on the right, and Andrew Vaughn pays that off with an RBI on the ground ball. So TA steals third. He comes home on the grounder, and it's 1-0 Sox.
Yeah, Tim Anderson had a great day today. I think he had 4 hits, a couple of stolen bases. As you saw right there, he stole third base and was able to get knocked in. And Juvon had the RBI single on the out. But it just looked like the White Sox. That was early. That was the first inning. It looked like the White Sox came ready to play today. But unfortunately, they ended up giving up 2 runs to go down 2-1. And then we had this.
Baltimore Orioles, 1979.
This ball lifted to center field. Sawinski is back. He's at the track and the wall. It is gone.
And that's Luis Robert just muscling that ball over to center field. He was 3 for 5 today, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs with 1 strikeout. His 4th career multi-home run game and a career high 5 RBIs. So the White Sox offense has come to play this season. With the exception of the Houston series, the pitching was really good in that Houston series for the most part. The bullpen, not so much, but the starting pitching at least was doing their job. But man, ever since then, the 2 out of the 3 games in San Francisco were brutal. The starting pitching just giving up home runs and doubles and triples and singles. And then you have the opening game of this series versus Pittsburgh, where Lucas Giolito was just out there stinking the place up. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, Lucas Giolito, you couldn't just hold the lead. So when that happened, White Sox went up. Right after that, or a couple of batters later, we had this happen.
Jake Berger in the air to left field. This is tattooed, and Berger goes deep here in Pittsburgh.
Two 2-run homers this inning, and the Sox have a 5-2 lead. Jake Berger has been tattooing the baseball.
So at that point, the White Sox went up 5-2. It looked like they were going to start rolling. Jake Berger just crushed that ball to left field, and I was at work just excited, like, oh my God, the White Sox are finally going to have sustained offense, and the pitching is doing all right. 5-2, we should be good. But the very next inning, Giolito gave the lead up, and the White Sox ended up being down 7-5 by the time they got, the Animals, by the time they got back up to bat. And then just when it looked like they were going to fold, we had this happen.
In the air to right field, coming toward the wall for Robert in that corner. And let's see, the ball is back in play, and they're going to wave it a home run. That came back in, but was gone for a 2-run shot for Robert. Was just waiting for the signal from the first base umpire, Estabrook, and he gave it. It's a 2-run shot, and we're tied.
So Luis Robert obviously is just playing at an MVP level right now, offensively and defensively. He's leading the American League in home runs right now, and he might be leading the American League in RBIs by the time this is all said and done today. But that right there tied the game at 7. And then Pittsburgh went on to score 6 unanswered runs. It was 13-7 going into the 9th inning. The White Sox ended up putting up a couple of more runs. I will show you this. The rookie, he got his first home run today. So y'all check out the rookie getting his first home run today. Cole is getting his first home run.
Pining for the old 3-inning save. This belted to center field. Bay is back at the track, and Oscar Colas goes deep for the first time in his major league career, and he is amped around the bases.
Oscar Colas coming through, getting his first home run. The White Sox, Luis Robert got another RBI in, but it just wasn't enough. The White Sox ended up losing that game 13-9. I mean, 57 hits allowed in the last 4 games by the White Sox is just atrocious. Like, you can't really call it any other way. Giving up 60 hits in 4 games, like, come on, that's ridiculous. That's 15 hits a game that they've given up in a 4-game stretch. You don't even do that on video games. Like on MLB The Show, you're not giving up 57 hits across 4 games. So in real life, you expect your pitchers. Now, I know it's a little different, the pitch clock and all that, and you got to throw quicker and you got to think faster, so on and so forth. I'm not sure how the pitch clock is affecting other teams starting pitching, but right now it got the White Sox looking like the bad news bears out there. It's not a good thing. We're going to need more consistency from our starters and the bullpen if we expect this team to do anything this season as far as going to the postseason. Obviously, baseball is a long season, so they have an opportunity to right the ship, figure things out, work on some velocity. But as of right now, the starting pitching is just ass, and so is the bullpen. And the offense is on fire. Moncada's playing well. Tim Anderson's playing well. Luis Roberts playing well. Like, and you have the replacements for Eloy Jimenez and Gavin Sheets and Jake Berger. They're doing their thing as well. So it's not like the offense is not showing up. Maybe the shift situation is causing issues for the defense because they can't put the shift on. Something's happening that's causing this team to give up so many hits, and something has to change. Something has to change. So there you have it, guys. The Cubs won 2-0. Stroman was out there dealing with just giving them crazy sliders and sinkers. The Rangers couldn't do anything with it. And then the White Sox lay another egg, even though the offense showed up again, but the pitching did not. So we're going to see what's happening tomorrow. We got a couple of games tomorrow afternoon for Saturday, this Easter weekend. Happy Easter to everybody. But hey, make sure y'all like, comment, share. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us on all the different Central channels, NBA Central, Chicago Bears Central, Chicago Sky Central, and then the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys over here with us on the Chicago White Sox and Cubs Central, aka Chicago Baseball Central. We're going to hold y'all down. Make sure y'all check us out tonight as we catch the Bulls versus the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe we can just knock the Dallas Mavericks all the way out of the play-in situation, play spoiler. But I don't think Levine or DeRozan's playing tonight. Hopefully we get some Dalen Terry sightings. A couple of those young guys get some tick. We see what they have to offer. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm your host, Big Bro. We got a lot of stuff in store for you guys for this baseball season, so be patient with us. We appreciate all the support on the channel, checking out our shorts and all those things as well. And we're going to keep in tune with you guys. Peace.